Hey everyone, I'd like to show you a great new feature that we have inside of Discovered, which is the ability to create your own sets of assessments. In the past, we've done this for you, and we'll still do it for you, of course, if you'd like our help. But we do encourage you to learn more about the assessments and really grow in your understanding of them. And one of the ways to do that is to create your own sets, and it's extremely simple. It seems more daunting than it really is. It's very simple. There's generally speaking about four assessments that you're going to pick from. So let's get started. So at the three different types of assessments that we offer. So you've got behavioral assessments, ability assessments, and skill assessments. So behavioral assessments in general, there's no right or wrong answer here. It's the candidate kind of telling us about themselves. The ability assessments are going to be more of your right or wrong answers. You have a general understanding of these and a general understanding of the importance of the items that we're going to be covering in these two sections. And then the skill assessments. Really, it's just the best way you can tell if someone can handle doing a responsibility for the majority part of their day. So, the detail tests are they're going to be doing detail oriented tasks for, 3 to 5 plus hours a day, right? If they are, then give them that and I'll tell you right away. Pretty simple. All right. So, we're generally going to pick one behavioral, one ability, and then potentially one skill assessment depending on the role. And to start with the behaviorals, there's usually going to be one of these two up top. We do have a number of them if you'd like a shorter assessment, but the SL and IC behavioral will give you the most robust understanding of your candidate right out of the gate. And if you tee it up correctly, you should have no issues at all getting your candidates to complete the assessments for you. So the first one is going to be the SL behavioral, stands for sales and leadership. You'll see a number of recommended job types below here this can be used for. This, of course, this is not a rule; it's just some suggestions. But essentially, it boils down to if it's a role that involves any kind of sales, marketing, etc., or a leadership role if they're going to be managing other people, or if they're going to be a CFO, etc. Right? Then this would be the assessment to give them. Uh, on the other side of the coin, you've got the IC behavioral. This stands for individual contributor. And again, you can read the description. You can see some recommended job types here. And this is essentially everybody else. So one of these two options is really what you're going to pick. If they're not, I always say, if they're not in sales and leadership, then give them the IC behavioral. It's pretty simple. So we like to try to keep that as simple as possible. Now you might have noticed this the reason I chose one and then unselected it and chose the other, you can't choose both. Of course, you want to do one or the other, and it's just so that the results will generate correctly, and so you don't overwhelm your candidates. I don't think they're going to want to take both of these. All right, so next we're going to choose an ability assessment, and very simply, we have the sales ability assessment. If they are in sales, give them. And if they are not in sales, then give them the IC ability. So the ability assessments are going to cover people skills and logic traits. Now, down below, you'll see all of the skill assessments here. We do have some Spanish ones as well below, but you'll see all of the skill assessments. The one thing I will say, if you choose an ability assessment, do not worry about giving them the logic test. This will be redundant essentially because the logic portion is already on the ability assessments, both of them, either one. So don't worry about giving them that. I guess in a similar vein, if you select either the SL or the IC behavioral assessment, you don't need to worry about giving, any of these, but specifically the positivity and integrity. These are both going to have the attitude section on them already. So you don't need to worry about that. But anyways, we'll sidetrack there. So you'll choose a skill assessment. Like I said, it really comes down to the role you're hiring for. So something like 85-90% of employers, they go to on Indeed and they say that they want detail oriented individuals. Well, understandable. But if they're not doing detail oriented tasks all day, don't give them the detail test. This is a very difficult test. Many people will fail unless they are in a field that specifically requires them to be doing details all day. That you're not going to, it's going to be substantially more dismissive of people, especially if you're taking the results at face value and really leaning on them. So I would avoid that kind of mentality. Again, if they're going to be doing quite a bit of details, logistics manager, accountant, bookkeeping, etc., obviously an administrative role in any way, then yes, I would give them those. And again, same as the other two, any one of these that you choose will have all of the descriptors here and kind of show you exactly what's going into it, how many questions, and the average time it takes, etc. So that would be the rundown of the skill assessments. It's very simple to choose which assessments you're gonna send out, and really the biggest thing, or the that is going to separate all of this is when we choose send assessment, I'll just choose job post, is going to be the job type. So this is going to determine the benchmarks that we're going to use for the candidate. And you want to make sure that you choose a job type that isn't necessarily the exact same title as the role, but would have similar responsibilities. So as an example, right, like if I type in plumber, nothing comes up. Okay. But find one that's very similar, HVAC installer. An HVAC installer is going to be extremely similar to a plumber. Both have to be hard workers. They have to be highly motivated. They have to be good with homeowners and people. They have to be detail oriented, or else there's something crazy might happen, to the home, of course. And they have to be, a little bit of a salesman as well. So they're going to have very similar responsibilities. So when we choose the job type, again, if you don't see exactly what you're looking for in here, there's a pretty dang long list here, and we can of course add in other job types as well if you need them added, if it helps you. But if you find one in here that is akin to the job title that you are hiring for, then you'll be just fine. And if you are concerned, if you have any questions, again, of course, reach out to us, reach out to your client success manager, and we'll be happy to help you out. And that is how you would set up your own assessment selection. Again, if you do have any questions, please let us know. Take care.